All right, so let's go ahead and finish this problem up by taking a look at this measurement here. So we have 30 height, and then we know this segment right here is 150 with the height is 120. So now where do we start this location? That is the question, right? Where is this point? So let's take a look. If you look down at this 45, we're going to go straight up, and that is in the center of this 150, right? So if we look at that, it's in the center of that 150. So halfway of 150 is 75. So from here, where my crosshair is, to from where this is now, that location, that distance is 75. Now we know the whole thing is 120. So 120 minus 75, that will be the distance where you would start that point. Or if you go back from this corner to the left, 75, that is where you're going to start drawing things. All right. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to click on the line. And I'm going to teach you some new skill here. Instead of putting the number for the measurement, I'm going to do TK and I hit enter. That show up my tracking point. Okay. So I'm going to track. My first point is going to be right here. I'm going to click on that. All right, that's my tracking point. I'm gonna hit enter. Let me do that again one more time so you can see. All right, I click on the line. I click on the line, and instead of putting the measurement, I'll do TK. TK stands for tracking. I hit enter. You can see in the command line that's at first tracking point. So I'm gonna click right here. You can see this yellow line. If I go up, now I want to go to the left. Right. Now this line go to the left and go to the right. You can see that up and down. So I'm gonna go to the left here, and I want the distance to be 75. So I'm gonna go in there, put 75, and I hit enter, and that is the location that I'm gonna draw up. So I'm gonna be right there, and I hit enter one more time. Now I can go up and draw the height, which is 30. Enter, and then I use that to do 150 to the right. Enter, 120 to the bottom. Enter, 150 to the left, and then I connect that to endpoint. All right, and I escape, and voila, that is all the measurement that I need. And you can go ahead and you can take out the dimensions. So I noticed that the measurement when I do dimension and I put right here is too small. Remember how you change it? Standard, modify, text, change that to about, let's see, the measurement here is 120, 150. So let's do about 10. That should be big enough. I think maybe too big, but let's see. Close. All right, let's go to dimensions and click. That's 150. All right, click. That's 120. This right here is escape. That should be escape. This should be 45. Let me see why I cannot do that, because I don't want to snap into the center. Another way if you do it, click on the endpoint, click on the other endpoint, you can get 45, and then you can do the angle by click one line, the other 150. You can see that this is 30. You can see that this is 60, or you can do the whole thing from this endpoint to this endpoint, and you got 150 again. All right, so that is the problem. Save it, put it in your Google slide deck, and you are done with problem number 5. All right, so I'm back. So let's continue looking at the problem. All right, so here we are. This angle is 150. This we checked all the measurements. So what we need to do now is let's take a look back at the problem here. If we look at here, this we're going to go down here at 45 because that's along the way. 45 right here. So that means 45 right here. The problem is this angle, we know that's going to go and become 90 degrees. But in AutoCAD, if we do that angle, it's going to take some time to do some math and get the problem done and all that. So if we are to draw that, let's, for example, don't do it now, but let's say we are drawing this, and you can notice that the angle, we have to do some math here to get the angle, right? So we have 60 there. We need to figure out what this angle is. So we need to get that angle to be 30, and then we need that 60. So that will give us 90. So that's actually going to work as well. Okay. So if you want to do it this way, right there, that's 60 and that's 30. So that will give us 90. So that's actually a way of doing it. So this is going to be 45, tab 60, right? So that's one way of doing that problems. Now let's say the problem does not give us that chance to do it. There's another way of doing it. Is I'm going to click the line. I'm going to go right here. All right, this right here, we know this is already 90 degree compared to the other segment, right? So all we have to do is just go here, click on that, and follow this endpoint, and then we'll follow it out. You see that dotted line show up? All we have to do here is we're just going to go ahead and put in 45, all right? And hit escape. Then we use the offset again to offset this down to this corner. And we know the distance here is 60, so we're going to put in the offset measurements to be 60, enter, and then select that, and then offset it, all right? Now, if you don't know how to offset, just watch back where I did this one earlier, all right? Now, all I have to do now is click on this and hit delete. Do it again, escape, hit this and delete, and then we're back to where we were. Next, we're going to go ahead and click on this line, and then we're going to construct a line. We need to make sure that it's followed this right here. It's going to be parallel to that line on top, right? You can see the snap line showing up. Now we're going to draw past this intersection here, or we can just, we're going to draw that past that a little bit there, hit escape. Now, because we don't have the measurement on this, so we're just going to draw past that. And then we're going to go back here to this end. Same thing, snap line, go past that. The intersection is where we're going to use to trim off the extra stuff. All right. So there you go. That you are doing the same problems, and you can see the distance here now is 150 for the angle, 150 for the angle, 120 for that, 45 for this, 60, 30, 15 for the height of this slot. And now we can figure out the measurement of this is 137. The distance of this is 107, right? So that is what it looked like. Now let's say we zoom out and zoom back into this problem here. We don't have those measurements, but from here to here, we can figure out the measurement now. All right, let's finish this problem now by looking at the outside of this problems. You can see it's going up 30 right here, but where is this point? That is something that we need to look for. All right, so first, from this crosshair location to the end right here is 120. Then same thing down here, we got 150 going this way. So if we are stopping right here, we know that this right here is 120 is 120 from here to here. 150 is from here to here, and then the height is 120 as well. Is it 120? Yes, it is 120. So we're going to look for those measurements, and we're going to talk about that in a second. All right, guys. So this is exercise number 5 from the 20 days AutoCAD drawing. So let's take a look at this problem real quick. So if I zoom in here a little bit, here's the dimensions and everything that you need to know right here. So you have 120 for the top here. I'm going to draw this little slot first before I draw the outer rectangle. So we're going to start with 120, but here we have a 45. So let's go 45 up, 120 left, and then we're going to go down with this 150 in a second. Okay. So let's go take a look here. Let me zoom this out over here, and let's start drawing. All right. So let's take this and let's go up 45, and then go to the left 120. All right, so that is basically how we're going to start. Let me see if I can move this over to the left a little bit. Let me see. I can move it right here. Make it bigger so we can see it. I can zoom out a little bit here. All right, so now that let's talk about this slanted here. So first of all, this line where my crosshair just went over is 150. And the line below that, we don't know the measurement of that yet, but that is parallel to the 150 here. So that means the angle 150, That is 150. So that angle and this angle up here, those two angles are congruent. So that means they are exactly 150 each. All right. So that is the angle. So let's go first establish that angle. And if I go here, line, I'm going to take that. I'm going to go and I hit tab. Now you can see my angle is what I need to do. The angle going to be 150, 150, and then I hit tab to go back to the measurement. Now I can draw in anywhere I want, but the angle is always just going to be 150 for that one right there. All right. I'm going to hit right here. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the measurement. So first of all, this whole length here is 150. In the middle, I have 30 right there. All right. So 150, subtract that 30, I have 120 left. 120 divided by half, because I have a section up here and a section down here. So 120 divided by 2, I have 60 for each of these. So I'm going to draw 60, and then I draw 30, and then I'll draw another 60. Okay? So let's go over here. That what I have right here. I'm just going to go down here, and I'm going to go make sure that I'm going to have that to be 60. And then I hit enter. Now I'm going to go 30 this way. I don't have my snap line turned on, so I have to go to the end here without clicking. You can see that there's a rectangle or a square show up, and then I go back down here. Now I have that green lines to follow. That will be my snap line, and I'm going to put in 30 to have that section in the center there. And then I'm going to go do the same exact thing. This time I'm going to go down 60. Enter, and I hit escape. All right, so that's my part. Let me go ahead and move my things over here a little bit. Why is it not moving? Give me a sec. Oops, going to the wrong part. All right, let me go ahead and paste it over here so it's there. All right, so I have that right there. 30, 150. I got that. I got the angle. So you can double check this while you got drawing. You guys should go quick measure it. You can see you got 45, 120, 60, 30, 60, and the angle is 150, right? Now, the reason why we did this 30 right here, ladies and gentlemen, is because we can trim that later, all right? But then I need to use that for something, right? If you look closely over here in the drawing, notice that you have this 30 right here down here. It's going to go down 15. All right. So we're going to move that 30 that we recently create. We're going to move that down 15 from where it is right now. So we zoom back into here. I'm going to go ahead and hit escape multiple times here to get out. I'm going to use the offset. All right. Click on offset, and then I'm going to put in the distance. That is 15 because I'm going to offset at 15. Hit enter. And now I put my mouse on what I want to select, because they asked me to select the object. I want to select this 30. I click on that. Then I can move down because I want to move it down 15. It's already there, the 15. All I have to do now is hit the left mouse again one more time, and there we are. All right, so that's done. Now we're going to go ahead and trim the 30 up top because we don't want it. That's gone. Now all we have to do left is just go to connect those two endpoints. The reason why we're doing this is because we don't have to worry about the angle. We don't want to do all the math to get that angle that we need to look for. All right. Just want to make sure that we got all of that. Be careful when you click on the snap, right? Make sure you have that. Because now if you click on the measurements, we're going to have it. All right. Okay. 1 second and we'll come back.